Suavemente.
Sky's the limit, baby.
BoxingVoice.com.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
¡Viva México!
Canelo wants to unify all the titles.
When did you realize, Andy, that you could take his power?
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me. So, talking about the Mexican style, I just proved it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. This is another spontaneous Saturday afternoon edition. We will be recapping the 57th annual WBC convention and just give you our thoughts on what took place and, the convention from a first-timers standpoint, I guess. We'll obviously discuss Lomachenko and Mauricio Suleiman awarding Lomachenko franchise champion status. I think that is something that has gotten a lot of people upset. So we'll discuss it. We'll discuss everything that is the WBC because I'm hearing so many bad comments, people passing judgment. It's like, oh, they're corrupt. They're the mafia. I'm done with them. They've dropped. The IBO has more integrity than them. Many things have been said, and I think that there is just a huge misconception. There's a lack of information, and I know information is supposed to be facts, but I'm going to give you a lot of my opinion, right? What I experienced, what I witnessed, and what I think. And then obviously Mike is going to, give us his opinion from the outside looking in and obviously probe and interrogate me on what I might have seen or heard. But this is what we'll be talking about. We're using the rumors overlay because it's my opinion. And it'll be our opinion. And we'll go from there. There will be some facts, though. I think it'll be difficult not to have any facts. But it's been a long time, so let's get this going.
WBC production.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it.
BoxingVoice.com.
So, when I stop him, y'all gonna say he was too weak. Oh my mic. He stayed out before he said he would not stop.
A man stand up for what he believe in, and when you stand up for what you believe in, you accept whatever consequences come behind it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yo, what up to everybody out there in TBV universe, back with another one. And man, just real quick, man, big ups to Ness, know what I'm saying, went out there to Cancun, had some good interviews, good vlogs, and a good question for Mauricio Suleiman, which really caused a ripple in the sport of boxing, man. A lot of Twitter people that, know what I'm saying, from Michael Benson to many others, know what I'm saying, use what came out of that interview with Ness. So we're here to talk about it. And franchise champion, man, it sounds to me like a lot of the WB Super, but we'll talk about that too.
Yeah, WB Super. That's pretty much in a nutshell what it is. And the only difference is that there's not one in every division yet. But the WBA Super title, again, it's not exactly alike, right? Because the franchise champion cannot be transferable. So it's slightly different. But you know, man, I mean, what do you say here, bro? that's the problem, that the convention, I feel like from a boxing fan standpoint, is being shadowed by the franchise champion status. But there was so much that took place at the convention from a whole standpoint that shouldn't be overlooked. But yeah, I think Mike's having fun.
Like what? Like what? Like what happened at the convention besides the name of Vasiliy, the franchise champion, that shouldn't be overlooked, that we need to know?
I mean, well, plenty of mandatories were called, right? We've gotten a lot of resolutions in different categories, and we've also gotten some confusion. I won't lie, but it's much more than festivities and big name champions. That's taking place. It's truly a global event. People from all over the world are there, and the WBC spreads across the world. Those flags on their belt truly represent the whole of boxing. There is some prestige to their belt, and people may think that they've lost some sort of cachet because of this ruling. And I get them. Everyone is upset with change. And Mike, while I myself don't understand franchise champion, from a business standpoint, I do. I was trying to wrap my head around how do I explain this in layman's terms, and the best way of doing it is, you are more or less on the board of committee for TBV. I come to you in confidence, in secret. We speak together. We make decisions. So if I came to you and I said, Mike, Deontay Wilder has confirmed that he'll be at the next Border Wars, wouldn't you be happy?
Yes.
What would that do for us? Why is that making you happy?
If Deontay is at the next Border Wars, then I'm pretty sure a lot more eyes and a lot more people will want to tune into Border Wars or be a part of Border Wars, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and then it's the heavyweight champion, you know what I'm saying, there to watch us do amateurish, like kind of exhibition kind of boxing. So that's always a kind of a boost for you know what I'm saying?
And in terms, what does that do for the brand?
Makes the brand grow.
And if the brand grows, what happens?
We all grow.
And if we can grow, we can make a change.
Okay.
You can't just have an opinion. As we can see, for those that have been riding out with TBV from the beginning, it's taken us how many years to finally get to a convention and truly understand what's going on. There's so much going on, Mike, that I give myself a D+. I rate my experience there at a D+ in terms of getting things done. How productive I was and how much I was able to accomplish, because it's so much going on, so many faces that you're just not used to. So the Texas Boxing Commission was there. Margaret Goodman from Clean Boxing Program was there. But do you know how they look? Do you know the judges that give those bad scorecards? Do you know how they look? Do you know what Adelaide Bird looks like? Or fucking Julie Letterman or whoever?
I know what Bird look like. Not Julie.
How many of those faces can you remember? How many of those faces do you see often enough that you can bump into them and get them on interview, or just understand how those people were appointed that position. This is how you understand
you
it.
sounding like LeBron now, bro.
Like, okay, I mean, explain. And this is exactly why, because you're from the outside, you weren't there, so this is why this is going to be perfect.
It sounded like LeBron last week, a couple weeks ago, he had some things. He took a little backlash in the media for some comments he said about China, not really condemning them, but saying that we don't know both sides, or we don't know what's really going on in China, which we do. And the only reason I say that because we seen like the big news that came out of the WBC convention. I know there were a lot more, Callum Smith and Danny Garcia, big ups to CYP, but it's like the WBC franchise, like you said in your interview, like what happens to the integrity of the mandatory, not the belt, but the mandatory. Like if I put myself in position to be a mandatory, now the mandatories can be elevated to franchise champion, and I can't even get a shot at the franchise champion, even if I fight him and beat him. It's non-transferable. I mean, it just seems like you're making the fans angry, and you're making the fans like confused a little bit. And one thing about boxing fans, I mean, boxing is a sport to where we are emotionally invested in. To be confused as the emotionally invested fan, it's kind of crazy.
No, I understand the confusion. It's frustrating, and I experienced it, and I continue to experience it right along with you guys. The difference is I'm starting to grasp my head around it as the hours pass. I understand. I really wish I never shut the camera off, because it would have got even juicier. I don't know if he would have said it on camera. Not that other cameras weren't rolling. So other cameras definitely picked it up. But his defense and his Mauricio Suleiman's defense was, look at Canelo Alvarez. Did that come out on camera?
I don't believe so, but
okay.
if you're about to say what I think you're about to say, then I think
I don't know. I don't know if you know, but we've been connected before. So he said the franchise title was created in a way. It's a bunch of different reasons, but this is one of them. Look at Canelo. He fought Mayweather too young, and that ruined his career. He was ridiculed. He was bullied online. Blah 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 blah. This is all he said. I'm like, what? That made his career. He's like, Devin Haney is just a kid. And I said, kid? So you protecting him. But none of this was on camera. But again, all those other cameras you seen in my interview, they definitely picked that up. I just thought our interview was over, but then he doubled back on me, you know what I mean? And it was too late to turn it on. But listen, in essence, bro, the franchise champion is no different than when he took the title from Sergio Martinez. So what we know, the facts, even though this is an opinion-based show today and every other day, but what we know is the facts are Top Rank asked to be franchise champion.
And what was the explanation that he gave to you why Top Rank and Vasiliy Lomachenko deserved to be franchise champion? Because like when it comes to Canelo,
no deserving.
I can understand it.
No deserving. He did a poor job of trying to tell us, because he didn't do anything off air or off camera to convince me that Lomachenko was deserving. The facts don't indicate that he's deserving, because he won the title in a vacant title shot versus Luke Campbell. That could never be forgotten. You can't just say he won a vacant title. It was versus Luke Campbell. So then you never defended it.
The only other WBC title he had was the Gary Russell fight, right?
No. I checked that too, and that was a WBO, unless BoxRec is wrong.
I thought
I thought so too, but I checked BoxRec and it say WBO. It was a vacant title shot. It say WBO. I'm telling you, I'm going to Google it right now and I'm going to screen share it, but it say WBO. So that had me even more furiated because I'm like, what the fuck? That means this dude never fought for the WBC in his life. So he's never campaigned as a WBC champion. He's never fought for that green belt. That means he's never probably even been ranked in them green belt rankings. And then he wins the title in a vacant title match, doesn't defend it, and is crowned franchise champion. So then under pressure, he uses the gold medals as an excuse. And I'm like, what the fuck? Gold medals? Like, that doesn't have anything to do. So then Lomachenko, Guillermo Rigondeaux should be a franchise champ. Like, so many people because of a gold medal. But first of all, franchise champ. Why wasn't Floyd awarded franchise champ? How many WBC belts does Floyd have? How many pictures has he taken with dozens and dozens of belts? You know, all WBC. He was never awarded franchise champ.
Adonis Stevenson with how many title defenses? He didn't get a franchise champ.
So I'm just going to go ahead and screen share this real quick. And right here, as you can see, Gary Allen Russell Jr., vacant World Boxing Organization World Featherweight title. So he won that. And this is Lomachenko's record. Again, you know, pound for pound, franchise champion, all that is laughable with these names. Laughable. And like I told Mauricio, Vasiliy Lomachenko is no Canelo. To try and say Vasiliy and Canelo are special fighters who does no. He is not Canelo, and nor has he done what. First of all, where's the fight that he fought for the fans? Because Canelo gave us like 4 or 5 of those already where people thought he wouldn't fight him, and he took those fights. Don't compare this dude to him. They different. They different. Okay? He ain't. No. Now, maybe someone argue, yo, Ness, come on, you know it was a vacant title shot, but they ain't think Top Rank was going to do it with Gary. Okay, give you credit for Gary, like I've always given you credit for Gary, you know? But that's it.
You can't pick and choose, though, Ness, man.
How so? How so?
Like, I understand, like, Canelo, you know what I'm saying, had a longer career than Vasiliy, so he done more in his career, had bigger fights.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
But like the franchise champion tag is the problem. It's not
absolutely
who is going to.
Absolutely. No. What I was doing there is showing you that his defense has holes in it. Because if he tries to use the scapegoat of Canelo, it's like, no. Canelo is way more accomplished. They are not on the same level. I'm not justifying Canelo's status because Canelo and Haney and Jamal are in the same predicament. They both chose greatness. Like Earl, they could get a big fight based off name. Like you seen, Jamal easily could move up to 68 and fight David Benavidez, big fight. They could probably force that on pay-per-view. But no, he went the route of the sanctioning bodies. He wants his belt like Earl. We respected Earl for it. We got to respect Jamal. We got to respect Haney. Now, the issue is they don't want to give us those fights because the A side is doing bigger things.
Okay, now that comes up to my question that's going to be down the line, but go ahead.
No, tell me.
Okay, just from a UK fan perspective, what happens when Dylan White becomes up and his time is called? Are we going to, as American fans, accept Deontay Wilder being a franchise champ? I think that it's up to the fighter. I think it's up to the fighter. See, in Canelo's instance, there could be a cover-up. We know that they're like Godfather, son and shit. So maybe Canelo asked for it. Maybe Golden Boy asked for it. It just so happens that you had someone on hand to uncover the truth. That's all. But we don't know did Canelo really ask for it. We don't know did Golden Boy really ask because there was no one there to ask those questions, you know? But for Top Rank, I got to ask Moretti. They wanted it. We asked for it was his quote. We asked for the status. So why did you ask for the status? Because there's plenty of time
to have a fight with Haney. Why? Because in this week is when mandatories are called. And if Eddie Hearn would have been there, which he wasn't, okay? Eddie is slick. I mean, I love him. But damn, is he a politician. He's over here acting like this is blasphemy. But deep down inside, he's more ecstatic than fucking Vasiliy Lomachenko in Top Rank. Because now his fighter becomes a full champion. And now his fighter can fight whoever with that title. And before you shake your head, champion, ask yourself why Devin Haney's fighting November 9th on a non-title fight if you the full champion.
As a non-title
fight? It's a non-title. No, it's a non-title fight. You want all this smoke? What's up? Put that belt on the line. You just got champ. Put that belt on the line. You know, so listen, the energy has to be the same for everybody. You know, we can't pick and choose like you said. So we need answers from Team Haney. They know what's going on. And let me tell you something else that we didn't know, that now we know as a family, as a community, from going to the event. Mike, if you don't got nobody there, Bobby, you ain't going up the rankings. That's just it. Now I know how Rung Vinciai or whoever the fuck, how you pronounce that dude's name? I'm going to give you a story.
Sor Rung Vinciai.
Okay. You know how he came out of nowhere?
He was knocking motherfuckers out. I don't know. Let me know.
At a WBC convention.
Oh, okay.
And guess who? The same one that discovered Manny Pacquiao. And that's how you do it. But you can't do it if you're not aligned with the sanctioning body. So what do? You become a member of the WBC. You pay your membership fees. You attend your WBC conventions. And when you got that little diamond in the rough, you say, oh, hold on. Right there in front of everybody, like a classroom, 8th grade classroom auditorium. That's classroom auditorium, oxymoron. Like an 8th grade auditorium, you raise your hand. During the motherfucking presentation, you say, yo, I want to nominate Michael Gross. Did you see his last fight? Yeah, he's undefeated, and this is who he fought. And I'm here. And they're going to be like, damn, Mike's 20? Fuck. And he's here. All those in favor? Boom. Now Mike is fucking number 7. Or Mike is mandated to have an eliminator with, I'll give you the perfect example, Liam Williams.
Yeah. Liam
Williams has an eliminator fight with Roberto Amenaza Garcia at 100 and what? 54, 60 pounds? What?
Who?
Yeah. The last time we even heard Roberto's name was when he was supposed to fight Sean Porter and pulled out.
Roberto Garcia. Okay.
Yeah.
He just fought not too long ago.
Well, there you go. That's the eliminator. The winner of that is mandatory. What division are they in? I don't even know. I thought Liam was 54.
Yeah,
is it 60?
No, 54.
So that's how it works. So now this is what I'm telling you.
It makes sense though, man.
If Eddie didn't want this to happen, why wasn't he there? Where was Anthony Lever? Where was Eddie Hearn? Where was Bill Haney? Where was somebody from Matchroom or Haney Promotions saying, ho, because you got Eddie on video talking about, we asked for this fight to be mandated. How do you ask for a fight to be mandated? In a letter, in an email, cool. But that's it? You don't follow up at the convention where you know things happen? That's where you know they get mandated. That's where you know they get enforced. Nothing gets enforced unless it's at the convention. We now know this. And I say we because I'm including me, but I just started to notice since the Miami convention, which was like 3 years ago. I'm like, hold up. Everybody's out there, Wilder, Danny, and all this shit is happening. What the fuck is going on? And I started paying attention. And listen, they all have them. The IBF is going to have one now, you know? And now that they seen I was out there, someone contacted me. He wants to remain anonymous. He's going to try and get me into the IBF one, you know? But I told him, we've been trying to get Mr. Darryl Peoples on this show for like a fucking year. You know, are they going to invite me? Especially after all that smoke? I don't know. But they're all like that. They're all like, the IBF rankings are no different. That's how, yo, I got an anonymous message after the interview, and they're like, bro, how do you think Tom Schwartz gets on the rankings and Oda Wilding come? How do you think you guys do shows? You think I don't hear your shows, he told me? You think I don't hear your shows? And over you say, who the fuck is that guy? Well, this is how this guy gets up there. Someone is there. There's always a representative. A Carl Moretti, even though Bob Arum was there. Where was Haney, peoples? Bob Arum was there. Vasiliy was there. Igis Klimas was there. Carl Moretti was there. They pushing muscle.
In fairness to Haney, he has a fight, so he's in camp. Eddie Hearn has a promotion going on, big fight, okay, but he could have sent out a guy like.
Oh, so you telling me Shakur Stevenson doesn't have the biggest fight of his motherfucking career, and Bob Arum didn't just fly over there and be back in time? Yes, he did.
But
promoters promote. Promoters promote.
If you look at Cancun, like Pennsylvania, like it's only one time zone over.
You're right. You're right. No, it's not even one time zone. It's east. It's all east.
Oh, okay. Well,
but whose problem is that? Let me tell you another story. You know, let me tell you another story. Bob, guess where Bob was flying from? I met Bob at the airport. You see my vlog. So where you think he was already at? He already flew from wherever he flew to go be at Better Be fight. And right from there, he took off. So don't knock the 85-year-old man because he happened to be on the right time zone. No, he's working. He brought his whole team with him, and they working. And let me tell you something else. Right? Because I'm on both sides of the fence with this shit. I really am. But again, we a brand. Last thing I want is to lose Mike. So again, if I could get Wilder to represent TBV, what kind of passes am I gonna give that man? It's just the bottom line. It's no different than Nike aligning themselves with LeBron and Michael Jordan. To create stars, you need stars. So by putting Vasiliy and Usyk finally under this WBC coveted blanket, let me tell you what else they do, Mike. I'm going to give you the audio, but this is what else happens now. Now that this guy is in franchise champion status, right, what he gets to do for the WBC, rather, this is their perk. Now, every fight that he's in, he has to represent himself as the WBC champion. So what does the WBC get? Free promotion. What else do they get? Sanctioning fee. Double dipping in the same division. So, again, I see it from a business standpoint because all they're going to do is come right back around and make that fight. They're going to make it. They will make Haney and Lomachenko or Haney and the winner of whoever. But at the end of the day, as a boxing fan, it just fragments the sport further. It truly confuses the boxing fan because you just don't know who's champion. There's a regular champion. There's a super champion. There's an interim champion now.
I mean, they really it's really like becoming a fucking franchise or like a little fast food place. You got a general manager. You got a manager that's on duty. You got an assistant manager. Like, what the fuck going on? Like, we got too many titles. Too many people got names in the same sanctioning body and in the same division, which is just mind-boggling to me.
So Haney's mandatory will become Javier Fortuna versus who winner? I gotta look it up. Clear. Did you catch that or no?
Fortuna against somebody. I forgot. Yeah. I know it's I don't remember, bro.
Okay. Well, I will find it because that was day 3. And that's when all the mandatories were called.
Yeah, I'm looking them up right now. Javier Fortuna.
All right, I got it right here. Day 3, Wednesday morning at the WBC 57th Annual Convention. Grand Oasis Cancun was devoted mainly to the rankings and ratings. So we'll go to Vasiliy. And the facts are lightweight franchise champion Vasiliy Lomachenko of the Ukraine. World champion is now Devin Haney of U.S. Lomachenko was named franchise champion today. Number 1 ranked WBC interim champion Devin Haney of the U.S. was elevated to world champion. The fight on November 2nd between number 5 ranked Javier Fortuna of the Dominican Republic and he's not even ranked. Where's Jesus Cuellar ranked? They don't even have a number. But they're going to be the eliminator. Now, ask me why Javier Fortuna is in a mandatory for Haney's belt. When's his last fight? Fuck it. When the last time he fought? How was he mentioned?
The last time I remember Javier was when he left on that stretcher against Granado.
So I'm on Google and I'm gonna screen share. We on BoxRec. We on Vasiliy. We on the BoxRec. So who last fought? Is he up here? Look, he's not even top 25, y'all. Oh, there you go. He number 12, and he went down 1 point. So we clicking on his name. His last fight was Sharif Bogarde, and that was February of this year, a unanimous decision. Before that, like Mike said, Adrian Granados. Before that, he lost to Robert Easter. How does he deserve to be in the title eliminator? Do you know how he deserves, Mike?
Let me know.
Because Samson Lewickovic represents him. Who else does Samson represent?
Samson. Dave Chappelle? I don't know.
Samson Lewickovic represents David Benavidez, the 2-time youngest WBC Mexican champion. One hand washes the other. And listen, I'm not telling you this is what happened. I'm not telling you this is a conversation I overheard. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm connecting the dots. I'm saying if I'm hearing in interviews or I'm conducting it and you telling me if I ain't got a representative there, I can't move up the rankings, and I know who fucking Samson is and I know who he worked for, well, then I get it. I understand. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Sharif Bogarde don't make you a mandatory, but now we learning. How Jamal got the mandatory status after fighting George Highland with one leg. Now we are learning. Together, we learning. But it's like you said, it's a cold business. But it's a business. It's a business, okay? I mean, huge business.
If you're the WBC, like you said, like you're going to look out for the guys who come and support your motherfucking convention every year. You know what I'm saying? Samson and whoever else probably been there numbers of times. So they're going to, you know what I'm saying, give them guys kind of maybe, I won't say like favorite like treatment, but might put their request in front of others. You know what I'm saying?
Now here's something, right? WBC convention was held in Uzbekistan and the Ukraine. Now Russia wants to hold the next one.
Damn.
And Ukraine said, nah, we ain't going. They took a stance right there on stage, live. We ain't going. Politics. We don't fuck with them. Mauricio was like, hold on. Didn't we just host it in the Ukraine? Yeah. Wasn't there dozens of representatives from Russia there? Yeah. Yo, bro, we got 3 days to get this shit together because we got to show that we bigger than politics, even though boxing is politics, you know? But it's just so much that went on. Alcohol awareness programs and seminars, teaching managers, promoters, referees, all the officials, judges about fighting alcoholism within the sport. It was called Alcohol Awareness Program. It's right here if you watch the screen. Fight hammered, get slammed. It's got like 10 things in the back, you know, on alcohol and stuff like that. Just giving you information. They did an anti-bullying seminar. They brought in this Australian kid, Charlie the Hammer. He's their ambassador. They fly him around the world. He's an amateur, young kid, no older than 12, and, you know, he represents them. So there's 10 signs of bullying, for you to, pick up on so that your children aren't being bullied or anything like that. This one got a little messed up, some of those Cancun drinks. But this is STD awareness program. Now, all these things cost money. So now we know where the sanctioning fee money goes. They got this other anti-texting driving program. I mean, so much shit, believe me. The obvious drug awareness program, you use, you lose. 10 signs, for these officials and promoters and things to pick up on. So guess what else happens there? I mean, so much shit happens. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. But
I see you run into Jamal Charlo. I was like,
yeah.
I was in the camp.
Yeah. That was pretty dope too. The way it happened on the vlog.
Yeah,
because I'm just doing my thing, and then I'm like, oh shit, they go Charlo. Let's see how he gonna act. And then he was like totally chill, even though I thought he was gonna have some different energy right from the beginning. Because if you could see in my interview with Anthony Durrell, he just came and sat next to Durrell awkwardly, making faces and gestures. And I'm thinking, okay, this is where the heat gonna come right here. He ain't gonna let me even try to interview him and say, hey, what up, Jamal? He waiting for me to finish this interview and come right at me. And it wasn't even like that. He was inviting me to breakfast, but I had already ate, but I still went, and shit, I even got to go to a different part of the hotel with him, black band only status. So it was good. And look, man, and we made some noise together, I spoke to David Benavidez, David Benavidez' father, Jose Benavidez Sr., and, he was very adamant about a fight with Jamal. So we made a little bit of headlines. That's definitely a show we need to do. It looks like the people want it. Some people, I think that we need to focus an entire show on that only because if he takes it, he can be so great because the fraction of people that believe he will take it is less than the amount of people that think he won't take it. So
I don't think Al makes that fight.
You don't think Al, and why not? I mean, how is that different from Mikey and Earl?
Damn, no, because one guy was calling for it.
All right, and now David is calling for it. His team is, his father is the one. That shit wasn't even a thought on my head. He brought that up. I'm like, what? Really? Okay, fuck it. You know how I am. They both here. I'm asking them all.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I don't want to give too much away right now.
So
we got a super chat coming from come on, man, YY9302010. Hit that like button. And we got one coming from Joseph Brown. WBC franchise belt should be called the WPB, Witness Protection Belt, and the governing bodies. Promoters, we don't trust tried black fighters disrespect. I don't understand that.
So
promoters, we don't
I
trust.
spoke to Suleiman again during the talent show. Yo, and people did have talent. Holy shit. People were up there singing like a motherfucker. I always say I want to do karaoke. Not around those dudes. But I spoke to him again, and he's like, yo, Top Rank asked for that status, and he's still on that Haney's a kid shit. But then when I'm like, yo, but now Haney put on his social media, Lomachenko ain't want to fight me, so I took his belt. And he made a face, man. He made a face. So I wonder, is he going to make a phone call?
Who?
Mauricio.
To Devin?
Yes.
For talking shit? Come on.
Not for talking. No. Not for talking shit. Remember, he's under fire now. He being Mauricio. And remember, just because you hear Eddie in the media talking about, oh, we wanted to mandate that fight, we all know, I just explained, if you ain't got no representatives there, and listen, I was hit on a text by Daniel and Haney cool. He was supposed to be in Mexico. Daniel sent me the father's number. They supposed to land that morning. They never got there. So maybe they got the call from Eddie like, bruh, don't even go. You gonna be made champ. No need. No need to argue. Why fight Lomachenko for the belt? They giving it to you. Don't fly out there. It's a waste of money. What you gonna make hoopla about. Yeah, okay, you wanted to win the belt, but what did Eddie say in his interview? Haney, luckily, is a fighter that over time will legitimize the belt. He'll fight other opponents like Javier Fortuna. They would be like, all right, damn, he wrecked Fortuna. Robert ain't do it that way. So-and-so ain't do it that way. And he will legitimize himself. And that's really what they want to do. Because, let's be real, the two men that are franchise champion, and if Wilder ever gets made one, which I hope he won't accept that status. I hope that he hears this show and someone gets it back to him and he says, I won't accept franchise status, because he necessarily doesn't need it. But again, one day we'll be here talking about Wilder getting franchise status and how they did it.
On this show, though. He did say on this show that it was like, because remember, we asked him, like, bro, what about that franchise? He was like, what the fuck is a franchise? You know what I'm saying? I don't want that shit. I'm going to keep my belt.
But Mike,
that's what he said now.
But Mike, if somehow these writers, right, because it's just you and I, the little train that could, shooting up the hill saying, no, if you fight Vasiliy, you're not undisputed because you don't have the real WBC. How many people are going to hear our voice? So if they tell Wilder, man, fuck that shit. Here, franchise champ, you could still be undisputed with the win of AJ Ruiz.
Come on, bro.
Bro. Think about it. I asked both men, Carl Moretti, how could Top Rank now have a undisputed champion in the record books if they gave up the belt? Come on, man. You know who the champ is. I asked Mauricio, how could Vasiliy be undisputed with the winner of Haney and Lopez if he just gave up the belt? He's undisputed. He can still be How could you be undisputed with a belt that you can't even win? No, it's too confusing. Let's not talk about it. That's why. Because you didn't think it out. But I know why. Mike. Because now Vasiliy got to take pictures at hospitals. Vasiliy got to go do the WBC walk. Usyk got to do it, and all those other Igis Klimas fighters going to come along, and they got to do it, and they got to represent. And what happens to the WBC? Nothing different than Nike when Jordan aligned with them. They get bigger and bigger. That's why now.
Charity is great. You know, that's awesome. I'm all for it.
No, but it's not just the charity. It's not just the charity. Think about it. Listen, it's not just the charity. It's not just the charity.
Though. Like, man,
I hear you. Hear me out,
though.
You
can't be undisputed with a belt we can't see. We give Fury so much shit about that right now.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But again, is your voice and my voice going to be loud enough to ring through the boxing community?
Our voice don't matter. It's the people. It's the fans. It's the people out there supporting boxing.
We represent the people. The fans' voice doesn't get heard without a platform.
Have you seen social media on Twitter?
Absolutely.
Motherfuckers dogging this motherfucking franchise shit.
Okay, but that's social media and Twitter. Where else it got to get to? It got to get to the ESPN.coms, the Yahoo Sports, the CBS's. It's got to go mainstream. This is a global thing. Okay? It can't just be you and I talking about it. The video can't just have 5,000 views. Like, that's not it. That ain't nothing. They don't care about that. The residual that they receive off of Usyk and Lomachenko representing that belt worldwide now is greater than the 5,000 views of hate. I'm telling you. It's got to be more. It's got to be the Coppingers. It's got to be the Ray Fields. It's got to be the Kevin Iolis. It's got to be everybody. Keith Idec, the Ryan Burtons. Everybody got to write and say there's no way any of those fighters can be undisputed. Jamal can't be undisputed. They got to tell Jamal that if he unifies with Andre, it's not a real unification because he's not the real champion. The same way we don't respect the WBA regular, we can't respect the WBC regular. We just can't. We can't. But now, it's different. We're going to see who's really the people with agendas. Because now, are we all of a sudden going to respect it because it's your favorite fighter? Are the regular champions all of a sudden champions now? For all these years, we've been saying regular titles mean nothing. When Pacquiao held the regular title, we said it was nothing. But are we in such outrage that these two men got ducked that we're going to elevate them in our minds to full champions? I don't know.
And that's the whole thing about it. Like, motherfucker still got a title, still got a imaginary, I guess, position in the sanctioning body as a franchise. When you have another belt, which is like in essence, the real belt, because the franchise champion that doesn't have a belt just has a tag. So it's like, what are we doing? I mean, I'm not a fan of this shit, bro. Like, the franchise championship shouldn't even be non-transferable. Like, if they made it to where that the champion and the franchise champion was the same person, then cool. But when you started like dividing, then you getting to what we've been dogging the WBA for. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the WBC is not looking or resembling what the WBA is doing.
So again, obviously the villain story is the franchise champion, excuse me. But again, a lot takes place. So we sit here on the show and we be like, man, fucking that judge, man, fucking LA Bird, something needs to be done. Okay, so they did.
Paying the dues.
So they did something.
Okay.
WBC had a World Boxing Council judges seminar, and they gave out pocket reminders and basic guidelines for all judges. But this serves for us, because we ask these questions and don't know the answers to. So now we got them. I brought them home. 10-point must system. 10-10. Something that I ridicule people for. Obviously, you could really use it. I had no clue.
You can.
I prefer you not to do it. 10-10, couldn't pick a winner. 10-9, clear or definitive advantage.
And let's be honest, though, real quick. Let's be honest. Most round ones are 10-10 rounds. A lot of round ones you see are 10-10 rounds. I'm just being real with you.
The third is when both boxers are knocked down, but one of them wins clearly the action in the round. That's a 10-9. That's another way to get 10-9. 10-8, one knockdown. 10-8, total domination or a beating by one of the boxers during the duration of one round, even when there was no knockdown. So that's something that we didn't know was official. Like, we see the television judges, Steve Farhood's, Harold Letterman's, rest in peace, say that, oh, he dominated Jim and he didn't knock him down. 10-8 in my book. All right, now we know that's official tissue. I never did that research. I didn't go look at this shit. I'm glad they put it on a little pamphlet for me, right? So 10-7 is 2 knockdowns. 10-7, another way to get a 10-7 is knockdown plus total domination. 10-6, 3 knockdowns. So then they got notes. Knockdowns and point deductions must be scored at the exclusive discretion of the referee, even if you do not agree. So whatever the ref says is what you got to put on your scorecard. Do not keep a separate scorecard. Each round is a fight. Do not look back. Do not look ahead. Be ready to advise the referee if consulted on a headbutt. Do not talk to the press without first receiving authorization from the commission and or the WBC supervisor. Do not publicly criticize your colleagues. Train yourself. Practice continuously based on these guidelines. Accept and look for positive criticism. Score your round. Referees' deductions noted separately in the foul box. Let the commissioner do the calculations. And always remember, justice, boxing is in your hands. Now remember, each sanctioning body has their own appointed officials. So they are giving these pocket reminders to the WBC referees and judges, right? So they got a bunch of other stuff on the back. Generalities, commitment, absolute impartiality. The winner in the ring must be the winner on the scorecards, regardless of nationality, race, or location of the bout, which is something that we always consider. Oh, that fight's happening in the UK. They going to rob him. That fight's happening in Turkey. They going to rob him. But hopefully, hammering this down, letting these officials know that they will be fined and or not given jobs will keep them on the The right arrow, bro. Like, so there's a whole bunch more to talk about there, but whatever. So this is another thing.
Bro. Let me get to these super chats right quick. You know what I'm saying? You've been talking like a motherfucker. We got one coming from Trill Boxing Talk. Keep up the great work, homie. Thanks for all the great journalism. Big ups to you, Trill. Coming on from 7. But if Teofimo beats Loma, he won't be undisputed. That doesn't make sense. I agree, 7. And main event March. Ness, what you did with Suleiman was brilliant. Thumbs up. Yeah, man. Big ups to you, Ness.
Thank you. So all right. So here's another thing. Like, African judges, they don't get no big fights. You never seen a big African judge like fight any fight. And the reason they don't get no big fights is because they don't got no experience. The reason they don't got no experience is because they inexperienced, so no one gives them the opportunity to gain experience. So they had someone there saying all that shit, and now they're going to be mixed in with regional title shots to learn and get experience. So then one day, there could be an African judge at a super fight. But that's the type of stuff that goes down, man, so much. They had a head injury seminar and gave out lessons on, judging a fight with someone that has a head injury, things to look out for. Even the drinks in the corner, making sure about the electrolyte drinks and the 10-point must for electrolytes. The referees seminar was also another great one. Just like I said, pocket reminders and guidelines, things that we really didn't know. The commands, basic language. Not one language is understood or heard by all boxers. Box, command boxers to box. Break, command boxers to break. Their clinch, stop. So they give specific things that they want done. They got it categorized into key ingredients, basic language, basic signals, instructions to boxers prior to the bouts. So the whole spew before and after that these fighters receive by the referee that's in charge. But just it's a lot, man. They had a boxing adaptive fight, talent shows. And like I said, just all the champions that showed up. And you got to understand, a lot of that has to do with marketing. Why else would a Shakur Stevenson or anybody of that age in that bracket want to be a WBC champ? Look at Devin Haney, for instance, since we're talking about him. What did he post on his social media? Posted himself with the WBC belt and a picture of Mike Tyson, and split shot of him and Mike Tyson as a child. And what he said, bloodline. What he said, cut from the same cloth. What do you think that he is being nostalgic about? Obviously, the fact that Tyson held the same title. You think he thinks he's not a real champion? You think he's going to accept that you call him a regular or a fake champ? Is it his fault? But this is the sport that we live in, bro. You got to take the good with the bad, unfortunately. Listen, I'm still here to tell you that after this seminar, I want to go to more, not just the WBC. I really hope I could get into that IBF one. And I'm here to say right now, this is only one convention I've been to. I talked to the IBO yesterday, and it's like, bro, they've been in business 20 years. They haven't even had one. Okay? So what changed? What's been going on, right? But I'm here to say that, man, I would still take the WBC as everything that we've been asking for, right? You know how we sit here and we say, yo, I wish we had one entity. I think I still want it to be the WBC after seeing the panels committee, how many people it is, watching them debate over topics. Everything is flawed. Nothing is perfect. But the WBC has made a lot of change. And I think if they were given the role as a whole, and especially get some more appointed officials in there. Look, I could become a member. I didn't know. We are dying for information. There's a lack of it. Eventually there can be change. You can get a Coppinger on that committee. I'm probably not the guy for the job, right? I'm too temperamental. But you can get a Dan Rayfield on there, someone to promote change, similar to when HBO brought in Thomas Hauser, the writer. You guys most know him for the Dillian White story, but he's been doing bang-up jobs way before that. But HBO brought him on as an advisory role, bro. And guess what happened after that? Gennady fucking Golovkin and the birth of Triple G. And how did that happen? Because he was writing articles about Gennady. So, if given the task, I think that the WBC can totally govern all of boxing as a whole, and probably positively, in a positive manner. Obviously, there's gonna be hiccups along the way, like franchise champion, like emeritus, and some of the other things that get us upset. But what they do is undeniable. I mean, what they've done for Adonis Stevenson, what they continue to do for him, what they do for others. I mean, look, all Jamal and Tony Harrison were side by side taking pictures. They don't like each other. And no, I'm not mistaking Jamel for Jamal, but I'm my brother's keeper. And I'm not saying that. We see that that's how the Charlos roll. But side by side. Why? Because they doing something for the betterment of the sport, for the children that eventually become fans and idolize them. And they went to, a hospital in Mexico, and, they did their photo ops. They did what they had to do. But there's a department in the WBC specifically for that, WBC Cares, that does all that. Then they got the WBC Greenbelt tournament, bro. And fuck if that's not something that I want to be involved in. It's for the amateur circuit, and it's only happening in the West Coast. But think about it, like for most boxers, the most prestigious tournament is the Nationals and the Golden Gloves, right? And then obviously the Olympics. But bro, the amateurs would love to be in green belt tournaments for the WBC, for the belt that Ali and Floyd, etc., have fought for. And again, this is one bad thing. But, bro, you know what they thinking about? You know what someone recommended? Obviously, this is like any committee where you go up on a podium. You're like, yo, Mike, I all in favor of WBC no longer recognizing the Olympic gold medal and creating their own gold medal. And over time, let the amateur system and the amateur fighters respect the WBC's gold medal like they do the gold medal. And they're basing that, or that person's suggestion is based off the lack of respect in the amateur system, the fact that the amateur system has taken off the headgear, the fact that they're bringing in pros versus children. So WBC has gone on to mandate that if you as a pro fight in the Olympics, you can't fight a sanctioned WBC fight for 2 years. You're suspended for 2 years. But this dude is saying, we got to go a step further because people are going to do it for the money, and we're going to see pros fighting, and they're not going to respect the WBC ruling. And this is going to continue to happen because it's been happening. We need to do X, Y, Z. And look, man, I'm not passing judgment, but I got to go to the other ones. Hopefully I can get into them. And by the other ones, I mean IBF, WBA, WBO, and try to see what it is they're doing. Because let's just be real, they all came after the WBC. So they got to be following suit, and they should be doing a better job, right? Because they had someone to watch, make mistakes, and learn from. But are they really ahead of the curve? Or is the WBC still leading the pack?
That's a question to me, or you? Or, I mean,
that was just me closing out. Very dramatical.
I think with the
on a
programs,
great.
Like WBC cares, WBC, shit, WBC. Next year they have their conduct policy. They have their little weight limit. You know what I'm saying? You can't be over like 15% of the fight night weight. They have the clean boxing program. So yeah, in my opinion, WBC is you know what I'm saying, ahead of the curve. But adding this franchise, man, just give people, you know what I'm saying, cause a pause.
Yeah, man. I didn't hear anything you said as I was handling something here on the other line. Always working. But yeah, man, we're gonna open up the phone lines. We got some callers. Hopefully, we get some more. You guys can give us your takes, ask more questions. Maybe we have more dialogue based off whatever you guys might input. Look, we're not all gonna agree, and I'm sure people hate what took place. And I'm far from reporting everything that happens in the WBC, man. 57th convention, but there's a lot. There is a lot that takes place that cannot be forgotten at all. Ring official code of conducts, written exams for referees. Just to keep them the same thing. Like we ask these questions like who's watching these dudes? Oh, that judge is too old. Well, there you go. All this is happening. And the ratings, you get to vote. These people must vote. So look, again, had I been part of it, I'm not screen sharing, hold on. Had I been part of it or a member of something, Mike, I could pay my fees and look. Well, look at what that says. This is voting right here.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to pop up on.
No, I know. I'm just showing you. These were all fights that have happened already, that they had to vote on, and I guess you can't see it, whatever. But they got the Anthony Durrell Yeardom fight.
A fight that I thought Yeardom should have won.
They got the Earl Spence Mikey fight, Miguel Romano Blanco fight. Just so many things here. Sean Porter Udanis Ulgas fight.
Fight that I thought you doing this should have took the night.
Yep. So these are just a little bit of some of the stuff that happened. And again, I am in no way reporting everything, Mike, because let me tell you, first of all, I missed so many of the functions. There was an all-white party, and I brought my all-white. Missed that. All the functions, really. All the functions. All the evening time functions, I miss. And even some of the seminars because the grounds were so huge. Listen, good thing you didn't come because very few wheelchair ramps. You would have been confined to eating in one location because I honestly only seen one fucking wheelchair ramp to go into the one buffet. I don't know how you would have got to the beach. Impossible because it was elevated. Like the hotel was so high up and then the beach was so down. You could see from Jamal Charlo's videos too. He was there. But it was a great experience though. You know what I'm saying? Like, Charlos were there. Blue Blood, thank you, brother. Shout out, man. Blue Blood with the super sport. I mean, it's Blue Blood with the super chat. He said,
we got a couple of them, bro. We got one from the agitator, Nesta Great. We got one coming from Barbershop Conversation. Says, great work. I got 5 on it on your next green Christmas tree, and thank you for being the voice of the people. And also, we got one from Chris Smith. Salute, continue the outstanding journalism. And one coming from my own pound for pound supporter, Andre Diakonu. Thank you, TBV, for grinding and traveling for the sport of boxing. Too many YouTube channels, sit behind the screen and still in content, not doing the road work. Looking forward to seeing you guys in Vegas. Big ups to you, man. See you next week.
Turning it up, yo. That's another thing, dog. I mean, that shit lit a fire under me, bro. I missed it. I missed that action, man. I miss being out there and fucking stirring the pot, man. I love being messy, bruh. I love being messy. Like, that's my thing. I need to be out there agitating, getting shit moving, man. I'm glad we going to Vegas. I'm gonna do the same, man. I got nothing but plans on doing the same out in Vegas and then keeping that energy rolling up to Bama. And then going from there too, man. I don't want to stop. I want to get back out there. I think that it sucks sometimes because things don't do as well as you want them to in terms of views and shit like that. But, bro, you just learn so much more, Dude, it was so many old people, and that's the thing. You would never know. But I got a phone call from someone, obviously want to remain anonymous, but like that I respect, you know what I'm saying? An official in the sport. And he just reached out to not only congratulate me, but to thank me for going to the seminar, the convention, and learning. He specifically said what Andre Diakonou said about how my competitors have probably never been to one of these things. Now, obviously, I told him, like, nah, man, I seen Marcos there, Michelle Phelps, but he was talking more about, like, podcasters and shit. And he's like, we sit there and we say so many things about how this and this, but this is it. This is it, and he's not even with the fucking WBC. He'd never been the one. He's the one trying to get me into the IBF one because now he wants me to see what the IBF is like. And I hope I could get in, man. I hope I could get in because, bro, that's where it's all happening, man. That's all the move makers, bro. It's the in crowd. It's the in crowd. If you want something done, though, there was doctors there presenting fucking seminars on wanting to make it basically mandate training for fighters training for referees on removing the gum shield because they're like, they taking too much time, fighters spitting it out. Like, they want to educate the referee on not only taking it out because they fucking up the fighter. You got to use two hands instead of one. All this crazy shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's doctors out there that we don't know about that, like, are studying the sport from another standpoint, and they go to these seminars and they trying to implement shit into the sport to make it a better sport for us. I met a referee, I think his name was Stephen Edwards, which sounds crazy because we got a Stephen Edwards already, right, as a coach. Maybe Stephen, but they both spelled the same, right? But he wrote a book on, like, mentorship for coaches. Now, I did want to say, I'm going to say it on the show, but I couldn't say in his face. I wanted to say, like, bro, what gives you, like, how do you write that book for a coach if you ain't a coach? Like, granted, you a doctor, a psychiatrist, but shouldn't you also be a trainer and a coach if you're going to write a book about coaches and how they can become better mentors for their fighters? But is all this type of stuff going on, man? So many studies, like, people are putting in work and then coming on October asking for funding, asking for things for change. That's all it is. So, like, if you really want something, prepare your presentation, pay your membership, show up, put your fucking flashcards on screen, and show why the 10-point must system is flawed and we should use the Michael Gross system of scoring. You might not get mandated this year. It might take you 3 more seminars, but you keep pushing it. Like, I heard someone, right? I wish I could remember the topic, but I know he was like, Mauricio was like, you know what, so-and-so, this is like your 3rd time bringing this up. You know what? We're going to put together a team and we're going to see and we're going to implement that. And that's it, bro. I mean, it's hard to understand as a boxing fan, like, you just want good fights. But, bro, it's politics and everything, man. It's politics and everything. It's just the WBC can't do what they do without the sanctioning fees, without the champions. And the champions can't be who they are without the belt. Now, obviously, it becomes a point in time where you don't need the belt. You're bigger than the belt. And that's why they're giving them franchise title, because when they recognize that, they don't want to lose that. WBC already experienced that with Canelo when he got frustrated. WBA experienced that with Floyd when he got frustrated. Sometimes fighters say, you know what, fuck your sanctioning fees, I'm not paying it. And that's another thing that was brought up. Yeah, you know, obviously they want they cut too. And they like, look, we need to do something because these fighters now got promotional companies and shit, and they saying they getting paid $1 million and they only giving us 3% of that one when they really getting 30. Dog, shit ain't no joke, man. I'm telling you, shit serious, bro. It's just like eye-opening, man. I just thank God, my position, and then I'm able to like learn all this. It's crazy what you don't know, bruh. It's crazy, but it was also crazy seeing all the fighters, man. Like, I seen La Barbie and shit, and it's so many people. You just like, oh, the HH Diva, you know what I mean? Yo, and I'm so sad that fucking interview only did 300 fucking punks. Go watch that interview, man. She fucking unified. And Clarissa's is not even doing great. Clarissa got veneers. You seen her get she all hooked up. She done lost weight and everything. Yeah, Clarissa done turned it up on you. I'm telling you, yo, listen, it was dope. Let me tell you, Mike, I almost died too. You know how I be boasting that I could swim so good? My nigga, ain't nobody tell me them red flags mean don't go in the water. Bruh.
You didn't know?
Bruh, I really almost died. No, like, I had to get the lifeguard aid. I was telling my girl, like, yo, I'm jumping out the water. The worst part is now they know me as the dude that almost died because they all see me. Nancy from the WBC. What's the real pretty girl from Ring TV? I don't want to just say that. Let me think. Oh, my God. Fuck. Don't say it. This is bad. Because she's more than pretty. Like, she's obviously very good at what she does. What the fuck is her name, Mike?
Who are you talking about, man?
The only Ring TV reporter. Female reporter.
I know Conti, but she
that's her.
Oh, okay.
That name escaped me, that's all. Bruh.
I thought she was with ESPN.
No.
Cynthia Conti is with ESPN, is it?
No.
Maybe
you talking about Christina Pancha.
Yeah, Christina Pancha, my bad.
But she's more with Top Rank than ESPN, but yeah.
Yeah, she does. Like, nah, she with ESPN now because she on every ESPN.
Yeah, well, she commentates every ESPN Top Rank show, though.
Yeah.
You know, just like Bomac, you know.
I ain't hear Bomac on the last time. Maybe he in camp, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if he's going to be doing it while he's in camp.
Speaking of Bomac in camp, my nigga Rob Brandt in the camp.
Yeah.
My nigga Rob would bounce back like a yo, how you go from
my nigga go get him right. Remember
how he go from Earl camp, yo, you sleeping with the enemy like a motherfucker,
it's
yo.
about the trainer, man. Like, both of them good trainers.
And let me tell you, I'm giving Bomac more credit because he turned Jamel around. Herring, like, we haven't seen Derrick James be able to do that yet. He's brought fighters up. He's bringing Earl up from nothing to nothing. You know, from nothing to something. He's bringing up Bad Burr. But We ain't see him rebuild nobody.
I mean, he turned Jamil into, a guy who
he had Jamil with a winning record. He had Jamil with a winning record.
But his style kind of changed, though. You know what I'm saying? More with Ronnie Shield. He
got 4 knockouts under the Derrick James tutelage, but he also took a loss under the Derrick James tutelage. He showed that he showed that he lost what he learned with Ronnie. He was the better boxer. Jamal was considered the bigger puncher. And when he got with James, he became a puncher. And the story goes amongst the critics that he fell in love with the newfound power, hence forgetting the boxing skill, only looking for the big shot. And voila, we got the Harrison out there in Cancun talking about, I fight him 100 times. He's my son. I'm a son him. Yo, can nobody talk like Tony Harris? And I'm saying that boy could talk some cash shit for sure. Yeah, man. But overall, very, very, very good time. Very good time and very informative. You know, I guess the only thing I can't change y'all mind for how y'all feel. But just know that there's more going on, you know. For the Patrick Days of the world, there's more going on, man. There's people out there on an everyday basis. This is a global company, man. They're all over the world. There was people there from Thailand, Philippines, representatives, board members, all that from Argentina. You know who I met? Oh, he's out. I met Freya, the one that just fought Jessica McCaskill. She was there, you know, trying to lobby. She was there trying to lobby, trying to get her fight mandated for a rematch, feeling that Jessica McCaskill was very dirty with the elbows and the pushing of the forearm. Even though I told her, you know, she was excessively clinching. But yeah, man, a lot went down. And a lot goes down. And what Suleiman told me is that Jamal will get a shot to fight Canelo. And guess what? Jamal was there. And Anthony Durrell wants a rematch. He was there, but that didn't happen, right? What was mandated? Benavidez fights Yeardom, then gets a voluntary, then must start negotiations with Callum Smith. So things work out for some people, right? Like, again, Eddie wasn't there, but his fighter got a championship title and his other fighter got a mandatory shot, right? Because Callum becomes the mandatory. They just got to negotiate. If not, they'll go to purse bid. So it's like, you know, somebody must have been there that I don't know on the Eddie team. But there were definitely no Frank Smith, no Eddie Hearn, no Anthony Lever, none of the people I know, you know. If there was another representative there, God bless, and credit to them for doing exactly what everyone else did. Because Oscar Rivas was there, and everybody's mad that Oscar Rivas got jobbed in his last fight, and so is he. So what did he do? He showed up. And guess what? He went from number 9 to number 5. And he's happy. And that ain't got nothing to do with any private lawsuits that he might have going on. You know? That ain't got nothing to do with whatever outcome UCAD is going to have. And Dillian White, there's people out here really crying like, oh, Dillian White, oh, he's got to wait till February 21. Well, I respect the WBA for what they did. And the reason I do is because you don't have a fight under my sanctioning, okay? First of all, let's just, again, the problem is we got to put ourselves from a business standpoint, right? So once upon a time, I had a Texas correspondent. As a matter of fact, he was a New York correspondent. He went to a San Antonio fight, and in San Antonio, my man got drunk as hell, right? So you out there representing me. You're going to get my credentials banned, you know? So you got to watch the people that are working with you and that you working with. for reasons like that, you know, and this is just on a greater level, you know. The WBC is a huge corporation, you know what I'm saying? So they just moving like a business. They're moving to what's going to be financially beneficial to them and and beneficial to the sport in the long run. Because, again, I believe that they will double back and make the fight the way that they did with Sergio Martinez and Julio Cesar Chavez. We've always been here where someone doesn't want to go right into a certain fight. And boxing finds a way to make it happen. Sometimes it takes longer. And, you know, it's obviously not right, being as though both men went the sanctioned and body route, paid their fees, you know. But that's why I believe that they're going to get their shot. Because, again, Charlo was there. He ain't talking to Suleiman, telling him how much weight he lost and how good he looked. He talking about wanting his legacy fight. He talking about wanting that money. You know, not allowing Suleiman to take that opportunity away from him. And that's why he's there, you know. Same thing for Harrison. Harrison won the belt. Why you think he's there? You know? Find out, does he really got to fight this rematch? Or could he do something else? Or what's next after you fight this rematch? Do I get my voluntary? You know? Find out who's in the rankings, who's coming up behind me, who's next. You know? It's a lot, man. A lot goes into this. But we're going to open up these phone lines. And, you know, we're going to get your thoughts. And we're going to do our best, man. We're going to do our best. Let's get this thing started.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Going out to Skype, CYP, talk to me.
Oh, man, I missed you, man. I missed you a lot, man.
I'm glad,
I missed you. I want to give you a hug, man. Let me tell you something. You did a good job out there, man. You did a good job out there.
Thank you.
On some real shit, you did a good job. Now it's time for a motherfucker to cook, G. Listen to this. You was out the WBC convention, but you must have missed the fact that Danny Garcia was named as Earl Spence's mandatory, which means that if you would have took that bet, you would have been wearing a CYP hat. Secondly, Green Machine, as I correctly named him, has been named as Crawford's mandatory for the WBO. Damn it, just like Mr. CYP said, this shit I say is always correct because I use my logic and I ain't a fan of everything. I ain't trying to start no narrative. I just pay attention to shit that's all I pay attention to. Thirdly, we're going to move on. Did anybody out there in the callers world know that Dennis Hogan started his career at 175? Do you know that out of his 28 fights, he has weighed more than 159 pounds, 11 fights of the 28? Charlo has only weighed more than 159 3 times. So there is no weight cherry pick. Dennis Hogan is a bigger natural man than Charlo by fat. Charlo has never, ever fought at 175 or 168. He hasn't even weighed over 161. So let's cut that bullshit. Now, you don't have to apologize to me for calling me a liar and saying I was wrong. We're going to go at it for years and years and years, Ness. But remember, if this show is First Take or Undisputed, my man, you are Skip Bayless and I am Shannon Sharp. The only difference is I ain't about to take your stupid ass bets for no cases of dude. I don't want that dude. But you have to start taking my bets, my man, if you want to prove me wrong. I'm a boomerang back in because I got something really, really important to say. But I just want to let people know that in the world that Mr. CYP is right. If you want your fucking knowledge, listen to me.
Cut it. 7 seconds over the time. So from the WBC, welterweight Earl Spence Jr., the USA WBC IBF champion, Spence will make his WBC mandatory defense against WBC #1 ranked silver champion Danny Garcia of the US and make his mandatory IBF defense next. So same thing we told CYP back then. You know, when it gets mandated, he'll be the mandatory. at the time that he called in, which was right after, I think, the Earl fight, he wasn't the mandatory, you know. What we do know now is that Sean Porter's the number 1, though. You know, and guess who else climbed the rankings? Josecito Lopez. Yes. And
Damn.
I believe, yeah, because he was there. Just like Oscar Rivas. I ain't even tell you, I told them, but Oscar Rivas went from 9 to 5 because he was there. It's just the way it is, bro. Now we know. But
big ups to Conor Ben. He just knocked the nigga out.
But you know what else though for CYP and the Charlo fans? Middleweight franchise champion Canelo Alvarez, Mexico world champion Jamal Charlo USA. Alvarez is scheduled to fight lightweight Sergey Kovalev November 2nd. Charlo is scheduled to make voluntary title defense against number 5 ranked Dennis Hogan of Ireland, Australia. On December 5th. The WBC will wait for 2 weeks after the fight to address the mandatory situation with Matchroom. Guess who's the mandatory?
Let me know.
Jacobs.
Oh.
Didn't we want that? I mean, he was the number 1, so he's got to be the mandatory. Didn't we want that? So maybe he fights Jacobs as the mandatory. Why? Because Charlo ain't going to duck his belt like Canelo did. Charlo needs it more than Canelo. Now he fights Daniel Jacobs. Now Canelo has to acknowledge him. Come on, bruh. You got to acknowledge him. There's only 2 other dudes not named Peter Quillen that faced Daniel. So you got to acknowledge him. And if you can do what those 2 alleged greater stars than you haven't done, you really make a statement. It's up to you to make the statement. You can't core above the bed. You know, can't do that. Speaking of core above, he's going to be fighting your boy. I know you're happy about that, huh?
Oh, yeah, nigga, ecstatic.
He going to beat the brakes off him, too. That's going to be the saddest part.
Nigga, that shit is tailor-made for
That's going to be the saddest part, because then they going to... What y'all going to say then, you know, with all the Jamal Charlo fans? Because, like, what? Oh, style make fights, Ness? Nah, bro. Y'all let this dude... Yo, they better not let Eubank beat the brakes off, because I can see Eubank just letting, like, hands go on his ass.
Dog shit, this nigga, man.
I can see Eubank just letting hands go on this dude. It's just like, you know, in spurts too. I could see it. I really could. But we're going to get back to these phone calls. We got Pablo in the Bronx. What it do?
In the Bronx, in Jersey.
Oh, anyway, you in Jersey. Okay.
That was, yeah. That was a good interview, man, with Mauricio, man. It was hard watching that, man, because he could not present a case where it logically makes sense for Lomachenko to be called franchise. And it was just frustrating on his part because he couldn't do it anymore. Because I understand your part where you were like, this doesn't make sense. Help me understand. And he couldn't. And I think one of the reasons why they're doing this is because Lomachenko, in my opinion, is a little bit older, obviously, and the potential money that he can bring in hasn't been realized yet. And so if he were to fight Devin Haney now and lose in an emphatic manner, then that potential profit is not going to be realized, and they're trying to and they're protecting him. I don't think Lomachenko is ducking anybody. It's there people that want some of that bread. That's my call.
All right, but Mike, in Mauricio's theory, without coming right out and saying it, he's protecting Haney because, again, his defense was, well, you seen what happened to Canelo. He was too young when he took the Mayweather fight. So he's basically saying Haney's too young to take the Lomachenko fight. But then I'm like, so what's the sense of fucking, you know, climbing up the rankings if you ain't going to fight the champ? But anyway, we got Checkmate Boxing.
What's going on, Checkmate?
Yo. What's going on, Mike? What's up, man? Hey, great interview, Ness. Did you see my the video I made on it?
I didn't, man. Tag me. Did you already?
I did.
All right, let me check. Let me check my Twitter. Yeah. It's on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Basically they put him in the witness protection program again. But you did a great job. You asked all the right questions, but they come back with the same cookie cutter, and he won 2 gold. I don't give a shit if he won 25 gold medals. What the hell does amateur have to do with a 14-1, 10 KO boxer who's never? Everything you said is my thoughts. He has never defended the WBO. He just won a vacant. It's not like he climbed the ladder and they put him on this pedestal, which gives him the right. Both him and Canelo to avoid the tough fights if they choose. I think this is horrible for boxing. It's sad for boxing. It's making it more like WWE, where men in suits getting to choose who they want to be the ultimate champion instead of them fighting it out in the ring. It's sad. There's no way around it. No one can ever excuse it. And I know you're kind of walking a tightrope because in media, you have to be cordial in a sense. You want to ask these questions, but you don't want to, I see it's hard for you right now, brother. I don't want to be in your shoes. I just want to tell them, them assholes what they're doing is wrong. So hopefully we'll go ahead and get this fight with protecting Devin Haney. Let me say this real quick. First of all, Canelo was on his 8th title defense. He was holding 2 titles plus Ring Magazine and all this other when he fought Floyd. He wasn't too young. He was on his 42nd, 43rd fight. Come on, man. They always make excuses. But again, this is a way to elevate other fighters above. I'm going to say it. You might not believe it, but I'm going to say they're marginalized Black American fighters, period. So this is a way to get their great white hope or whatever hope they want to get into to try to elevate them and then avoid them. You can't be the best until you beat the best. Now, giving Haney a belt and giving Charlo a belt instead of allowing
Cut it. Did you read that super chat from Milos channel? Or is that new?
Nope, not yet.
All right, he says you have to give credit to the WBA. They are older than the WBC and longer line of champions. 98th convention in November in China. They sided with the IBA against WBC regarding amateurs. Klitschko advocates for the WBA. Yeah, but I'm against that because amateurs are my son. Amateurs are our children, not fucking pros from Russia on drugs, my man. And no, look, man, listen. Again, I hope the WBA invites me, bro. Mendoza Jr., he answered my message, and then it's been duck, goose. Maybe he had people do research and find out what was my motives and agendas. I don't know. After that, it was over. Never got any correspondence. And mind you, he was there, Mike. But again, bro, that was my first time. I ain't even know how to move, man. Y'all congratulating me. I ain't know how to move. I missed that whole seminar with Chavez and Mendoza. And Paco was there. WBO president was there and WBA president was there. And I missed them both. I missed Margaret Goodman. Like, bro, I failed. I'm telling you, I give myself a D+. I failed miserably. There was mad context I needed to make. I couldn't make. That I didn't even get on camera. Like, shit was trash. I was tight. But, hopefully I get invited again. I could do better next year, more prepared, and know what to do.
Mr. PBC, baby.
Boxingvoice.com.
I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believe he can win. Go to my kitchen, get the sharpest knife, cut the bullshit out. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great.
Mr. PBC, baby.
What up, Mr. PBC?
What's good, Mike? What's good, Ness? Hey, Ness, you did a good job, man.
Thank you.
Seeing you out there. Man, you was sweating like a motherfucker.
Word is born.
Man, but I have a quick question. Like, I watched all the interviews and I seen the one with Charlo and David Benavidez wanting to fight. And I'm like, so that's not going to happen now, or is that what just talk?
Well, nah, they just trying to get that fight to happen. But you know how it starts in the media first. That's what David's father wants. Charlo verbally accepted, but now contracts got to get sent. The public, they got to see how the public receives it. People need to post it on their Instagrams and shit like that. If it picks up steam, they can do it. I think that You know, like I said, I want to do a show just on that because I think that's a fight Charlo should take.
And what's up with the Oscar Rivas decision, or was that postponed?
Nah, Rivas is fighting in December 7th on the motherfucking AJ card, Mike. He don't know versus who. He keeping that close. But yeah, he's back December 7th and he's ranked number 5 now. They moved him up 4 spots.
So the decision was for Dylan White. Is he still a WBC?
They need to fight Dylan White ass again.
Ranking?
Nah, Dillian White, there's no outcome yet, you know, but in my interpretation of what took place is he's getting a suspension anyway. Like, he can't do nothing with that mandatory status till February of 2021.
And he'll automatically lose it because somebody will. Okay, I see.
So like, I think they already, you know, like punishing him. Like, okay, you want to have a fight, test positive, don't call us, let us find out through the media. All right, well, this is it, because they got a code of conduct, and that's not how one of their champions should act. If you a champion of the WBC and you test positive, you should be calling the WBC because you know that's a WBC sanctioned fight.
Yeah, that's my call, y'all. Hey, good job, y'all.
All right. We got Rod in the 870.
What up, Rod? Speaking of Rod, we got to switch up from Rod.
What up, man?
What up, champ?
Hey, I got 2 things for Mike. First off, Mike, I'm glad Ness came back with the little pamphlet to break down the judging rules. I feel like every time me and you disagree, you always explain, like with the Earl Spence Porter fight or with the Kid Chocolate fight and with the Pacquiao Horn fight, you go off momentum. I judge every fight individually, round by round. I don't even think about the last round. And I even judge the fight between, like, while the round is going on. I would tell myself, like, okay, this fighter is winning the fight. This fighter has to do A, B, C to steal this round or to even make it a close round. I don't think you do that. I think you do it with momentum a lot of times. The second thing, man, when Ness leaves, man, we need to keep having these shows, man. And so if you need me, I'll jump on with you. I got a roadcast. I got the whole setup. You know, just let me know, man, if you need me. But, man, we got to have these shows. You got to do a live show. You got to give us at least 1 or 2 a week, man. I was like a crackhead not having my shows all week.
Yeah,
and Ness, thank you for going out there and getting content, bro.
Nah, for sure, man. We about to kill it out in Vegas too, man. We gonna work and we gonna do shows from there, man. They gonna have internet for us. Mike got that all figured out in the background, and we gonna definitely have a daily show out in Vegas and vlogs. We gonna do vlogs. I'm glad y'all like the vlogs, man, because shit, I be nervous sometimes with them damn things. But all right, Rod, thanks for calling in. Yeah, man. You know, having a camera, talking to the fucking camera everywhere you go, you know, people be thinking you conceited, but nah, them shits, they doing good. People like them, so I want to keep doing them. It's always something I wanted to do. Vlogs are pretty.
Yes, that paper you got with all those fights on it.
Yo, I'm glad you brought it up. Let me read this to you.
What is that for?
Pocket reminder, basic guidelines for judges.
So it's not like fights that need to be reviewed again, or
probably.
So I'm not the only person that thought you guys and Porter was a close fight. Matter of fact, they thought it was close enough to put it back on the paper.
I'm not sure though, Mike, because based off this, they got Earl Spence and Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, that wasn't close at all.
Yeah, and then they got Oscar Escaldón and Gary Russell. That wasn't close. Macaboo, Kudasov also wasn't close. So again, man,
I know, but that fight had
controversy.
The scoring was way off because remember we watched that fight. Well, we didn't watch it live, but we watched it.
Maybe these are rounds. Again, man, I'm telling you, bro, I got lost mad times, bro. Then I only had one credential, you know, so it was just like not, you know. I learned, you know, but. Bro, let me tell you, I ain't find the fucking daytime snack bar until the last till Thursday, and we leaving Friday. You know, and honestly, I was complaining about the food up until that point, Mike. I mean, every day I was just like so upset. The Mexican restaurant was the best restaurant, and we didn't find the steakhouse and all them little stands. They had like fucking taco stand. They had this thing called La Placita where you could just get mad drinks. They had the chicken. You know, if you wanted chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, fucking fried chicken. They had all this shit in the cut, okay? The whole left side of the fucking resort was like all white, hip as a motherfucker. They had this gigantic stage and like Jumbotron with all type of dope beats playing. It was like, but it was a whole nother world. For the whole first part of that shit, I was in the 4,000 buildings with all the old people. You know what I'm saying? All I could say to myself, like, there's mad old people in this motherfucker. And me and my girl kept saying, like, damn, this must be no kids. And then we started to see kids the more we went to the left. And then you started to see more younger people and shit. But P Money, man, talk to me.
What up, P Money?
Good, guys.
What up, P Money?
You hear me?
Yeah, we do now.
Word. Good shit, Ness. Getting a lot of respect around the Boston community for the work you were doing. The only person asking like questions of this bullshit with Lomachenko being franchise. I think we gotta just say if you take the franchise, you're no longer. You can't go for undisputed. You're not technically that champion because we're not going to let WBC have two champions in weight classes where they want to. We got to just stick with they get one, and that's going to be Haney. But hear me out. If Loma faces the winner of Comey Teofimo and then is just waiting for Haney to be a bigger fight, and then that's for undisputed, I could kind of understand.
Yeah, no, but listen,
franchise. I still wouldn't like it, but
P,
that's a scenario that.
But P, that would be the perfect story if Vasiliy took franchise champion to fight Teofimo Comey winner, then doubles back and fights Haney. But that's the problem. Now you're saying a franchise champion got to fight twice to be undisputed.
It would have happened I don't like if he didn't take the franchise belt, then he would have to fight Haney as a mandatory.
But Mike,
the franchise doesn't have any mandatory.
But Mike, that's what I'm saying. He could have not took the franchise champion status and told WBC that's what his whole team was there. Now we've hit a petition that you don't enforce the mandatory because we want to unify for undisputed with Richard Comey Teofimo winner. And the WBC is within their right. Cause I hear you, people. Just give me 1 minute. WBC is within their right, right? Because when Teofimo fights, December what? Like with Crawford, right?
Yeah, December 14th.
December 14th. So then after that fight, you got to give them dudes at least a month off. Then you got to give them 3 months before. So you're talking 90 days at least. You know what I'm saying? Now you're talking April, May. So Haney's like, yo, I ain't waiting until May. And that's the issue right there. But again, they could also say, no, Haney, you got to wait till May to find out the outcome, but you're the mandatory of that winner instead of making this double belt shit. Go ahead, P.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, the only thing that I was thinking was just, like, with what Suleiman was saying, it's for, like, the big fights or whatever. So if Lomachenko takes that winner and then he's just waiting to make that Haney fight a bigger fight since Haney is young and maybe doesn't have as big a draw as he could, just wait to make that fight bigger. That's the only way I could see, like, it working out anyway, but I still just don't like the franchise championship at all.
Nah, I hear you, brother, but thanks for calling in. We're going to go out to California.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the Know, presented by my brother.
Joe, what up? Info? All right. We'll keep it moving. Let me see here.
We got a super chat coming from Blue Blood Sports TV. Salute to the bro Ness. Great work, brother. We got one coming from Rod ASMO. Mike, you judge each round individually. Please learn, bro. Thank you. I do judge each round individually. We got one coming from YY9302010. And didn't say anything, but you read Milo's LB other one. So big ups to everybody who sent out some super chats.
So from the WBC basic fundamentals for scoring, 80% is effective aggressiveness, is the most important factor for winning a round. The scoring of clean punches with power, number, and accuracy, whether moving forward or backwards, boxing sideways against the ropes, or counterpunching. That's 80% of scoring.
Sounds pretty much.
15% ring generalship. If an advantage is not found in A, meaning if you can't find a fighter who is being the aggressor, then you use this. B, which is whoever dominates the round with boxing skill to control the action and does not allow his rival to perform. So then, if no one is being overly aggressive, but someone is being skillful, evading shots, and pop shot and not letting you get off, that's who you score the round to. C, 5%. Pure aggression, Mike. Pure aggression. If in doubt, at the end of the round, it must be scored in favor of the aggressor, the one who goes decidedly after his rival, who forces the action to win the round, against a boxer who only runs away and does not stop to fight. So Canelo Alvarez versus Lara. You know? Look at that. That's fucking bullshit. So they got another thing here that says the mental instantaneous computer.
What the hell does that mean?
Put your mental count work at even, or 10-10. At the sound of the bell, start a round. Have your mind computer instantaneously. The action is defining a slight or clear advantage for one of the fighters, while mentally modifying or adjusting instantaneously the count of such advantage according to the scoring of punches during the whole 3 minutes. If one of the boxers had total domination and hurt his rival during the action in the round, such advantage shall be considered to be total or absolute. If you could not find a winner, you have no domination for either boxer. It shall be definitely even. You just have a lot here. All righty then.
I gotta bring that pamphlet with you, bro.
Okay. To what? To Vegas?
Yeah. I want to look it over and shit.
I mean, I could just take a picture, bro.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Take a picture and you can have it right now, champion.
This nigga box so fucking ugly, man.
Let me go to Ohio Runs Boxing. Talk to me.
What up, Ohio?
Hold on. Hey, what's up, y'all? Good shit, Ness, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. With this, Ness, man, you painted the picture, man, and I think a lot of people don't want to accept that. But like I said, I'm with you on this one. You're looking at from both sides of this thing, man. I do not like the franchise tag, but business-wise, it's brilliant, bro, because you get both guys giving you sanctioning fees, and it's gonna help you build bigger. And I don't like it. I don't like the franchise tag. But I see what they're doing. And I wouldn't be surprised if they start using a franchise tag with Lomachenko to promote him as still the champion, because there's so many people that don't know about boxing that just watch it on ESPN or just on those networks and be like, oh, he's the champion, just like they did Tyson Fury. So it's no different with the lineal. So it's no different, man. If you just say what you believe what that fighter is, most people was going to go with it. Roman Gonzalez came out of nowhere. They were saying he was pound for pound #1. I heard it on everybody who talked boxing with. He came out of nowhere. But as long as you can push it, you will start having everybody else start saying it. It's powerful, bro. It's very, very powerful. But I'm going to keep it short. I keep it consistent, too. Devin Haney got a belt handed to him. I can't call him champion. Yes, he's the champion. But I can't call a person champion who got a belt handed to him, bro. And you said the same thing, man. It's people, you can't pick and choose. If you're going to be consistent or you're going to pick and choose when to call a champion. Because the same organization who gave Lomachenko the franchise tag also gave Devin Haney the WBC title. So you want to call Devin Haney the WBC champion, but you don't want to call Lomachenko the franchise. Like, I'm done with all that. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
all
because
they
saying because they saying that the franchise title is a duck title. Like they saying Lomachenko took it to duck Haney. That's why they calling Haney the champion, because they feel that Loma is running from the fight. So that's why they proudly calling. That's why you proudly calling Haney a champ, because Haney says I want the fight. Haney's promoter says we wanted that fight mandated, and then Loma vacates his belt. So you know.
I get that. I'm not even saying I get that. But we might as well go all the way back in history with Aaron Pryor and everybody we feel that was ducked from a certain fighter and give them the champions, give them the titles because they was ducked. I'm not crowning nobody who's getting ducked, bro. That's just not me, bro. I'm not doing that. It's going down a slippery slope where boxing, you can make up all the rules now. And don't be surprised if they still, like I said, Lomachenko get pushed as the undisputed champion if he beat Lopez or
they totally gonna push that. They totally gonna push that. But it's gonna
don't be surprised.
It's gonna take Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley not to stand for that, because we know Joe Tessitore and Bernardo Suna, they're gonna follow suit because they work for ESPN. Listen, man, thanks for calling in. I'm going to Boomerang. CYP, talk to me.
First off, there will be no way in hell Wilder could be undisputed champion if he did not face Brazil. There's no way in hell. He would have had to face his mandatory to get by that. Brazil would have sued. Brazil would have done things. See, when you got a franchise champion, the WBC just gives the belt to the guy, so the guy can't sue you. He can't do things. So what comes with that is you can't be undisputed. You have to solidify your mandatories to get to undisputed. You can't just say, I want this belt, I want this belt, I want that belt, I want that belt. It don't work that way. It never works that way, because ain't nobody about to just sign contracts that easy. That guy can be tied up and that guy can be tied up. So at that time, you got to face your mandatory, just like Crawford's doing. But this is what I really want to call in and say. Black fighters are what make boxing great, and they've been making it great before the WBC. The WBC begged Muhammad Ali to rock their belt. They begged these fighters to be a part of them. You don't think of Muhammad Ali and think of WBC. You don't think of Mike Tyson and think of WBC. You don't think of Roy Jones. You think of those guys by themselves. Now, when you think of the WBC, you think of those champions. We don't need their fucking belt. We need to start our own organization with our own belt. And I guarantee you, if you're a real fighter out there, you want that black belt. You want to beat the best black fighter in any division. That shit gives you credence over some bullshit ass IBO. Nobody care about that bullshit. Who's not a hardcore fan? I'm telling you right now, boxing was made to be racially and nationally divisive. Have your champion. If the black champion is here, the Asian champion, boom, boom, boom. Go collect them goddamn belts. Everybody get their own and go collect them so you can really be undisputed. The motherfucking king. Do that.
Cut it. I mean, I get it. I can't say that it doesn't help the sport when there's a cultural divide, Mexican versus whatever, Argentine versus whatever. It's like he said, it gives people a reason to ride with a team, right? So, look,
90 seconds.
Whatever's going to make the sport greater, bigger, man. That's all that matters to me. But no answers really on that franchise champion, man. That shit is definitely a deterrent, man. That shit is not what it is at all,
Yeah, man. It just makes it more confusing, bro. That's all it does. You know what I'm saying? Especially like for the casual fan who's just not coming in, and what if they see like the heavyweight division, like God forbid, well they see Dillian White the champion and then Wilder the franchise champion, they're gonna be like, how is that even possible? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, it's just that back in the day, there was one champion. That's why people were so quick to, make guys like Mike and Ali synonymous with boxing because it was easier back then. Like, it's just so hard right now with all these different champions, man. It's fragmented. They're diluting it. And I told him that to his face, man. You're taking away the title of champion, bro. Like, it's crazy. But, man, yeah, man, those are my final thoughts, man. We'll be back with some live fight chats. Mike's over there busy watching the fights. I ain't even get to watch it. I think we got one more super chat, right?
Yeah, we got one from Trenton Jones. Best scoring style definitely says Porter won. Facts. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, I'm watching the Coley fight right now.
No, but he mean Porter won in the Earl fight, not in the Ugas fight.
No, haven't I been on record saying that Porter won?
No, because you said Ugas won in the Porter fight.
Yeah. I'm saying, but
I'm just saying that he could be talking about the Earl fight, which makes more logical sense. But he should be talking about the Ugas fight because it would be sticking to the topic. Rod brought up the Ugas fight, saying that you don't know how to score. I brought up the scoring pamphlet. So if he's sticking to the topic, we talking about Ugas Porter, not Porter Earl.
Well, maybe he is then. All right.
But again, he could just be randomly listening to the new information and be like, oh shit, based off that, Earl really lost because Porter did make that fight. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about.
That's that weed. That weed get you going down mad doors, boy. I went down mad doors right there.
Yeah.
Yo.
But yeah, man, follow me on IG at Grouse1911 or on Twitter at Grouse2312.
And catch us in Vegas Wednesday. I want Khalifa Kush or Mike Tyson's Ranch. Hook a brother up. Meet me at the airport with it. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I could meet you. We got a van. You know what I'm saying? Credit the Mike. So, yeah, man. Let me try Info Joe again. Maybe he was at work. Joe, what up?
What up, Info?
Is this not Joe? You gonna make me look up this number? I know I'm right. 310? That is Joe's number. Joe, something wrong with your phone, man. I'm out. Catch us on the next one, y'all. Peace.
To say.